All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. Today, I have the all-new Target offering from Elite. This is the Elite VICTRA. This is the new Target offering from Elite for 2026 and going forward. Typically, bow companies come out with a Target line and they run that line for a couple years. So you could probably feel pretty safe that if you were to buy this bow, this is going to be Elite's Target bow for the next couple years. In comparison, we're going to do a lot of that today with their old Target offering, which is mine. This is the Elite Verdict. This is the bow that I've shot for the last couple of years. And if you've been a follower of the channel, you know I did not shoot this bow this year at Lancaster. Instead, I shot my hunting bow, which was the Elite Exalt. And they also have an Elite Exalt long draw. Those two bows, the Exalts, are 35-inch axle to axle. So if you were looking for something on the smaller axle to axle side, those are also great offerings. That bow is pretty much marketed as a hybrid bow. You might see one of these come back out in a smaller axle to axle platform. But this is the one that they have launched right now. This is the one we're going to go over. Much like the Verdict from years past, this is a 37.5-inch axle to axle bow, which the Verdict was a 37. It still has a 7-inch brace height. It's going to come in at a mass weight. On the tag says 4.7 pounds, but we are going to measure that. This is going to be pure raw weight. I don't have the little stubby stabilizer, no whisker biscuit, nothing on this bow. 5.06 pounds, so it's a little heavier than the 4.7 pounds that Elite advertises this bow. Maybe if we took the string stop off here or the shock absorbers out of the limbs, we might drop that under 5. In comparison, I have my Elite Verdict here, no string stop, still have the little dampeners in the string, and we got a peep in here, no rest. This bow weighs 5.25 pounds, so just a little bit heavier than the VICTRA. They've definitely shaved some weight with the new VICTRA over the old Verdict. This bow comes with the smooth mods. This is a new cam system they have. This is the SPX2 cam, so very similar to the SPX cam of the past, which was on the Verdict and the Exalts, but it is just an upgraded version of this cam. It's still going to have the modules that come in 1/4-inch draw increments, and you're still going to have the adjustable shoe to adjust your let off. It's going to come with the smooth mods. Ever since Elite went to this split yoke system last year with their hunting bows, and this year with the Target bows, you are no longer going to be able to use this bow with a limb stop. So with that, you lose the ability to have this bow as a limb stop with the split yoke system. But most of us shoot off of the strings, off the cables anyways. So I don't know many people that shoot limb stops. I'm sure there are people, and you will tell me in the comments below, but for my own personal, I don't. So that does not really affect me. Overall, the riser length on this geometry has changed. It is a little bit of a shorter riser. The limbs are not as parallel as the Verdict in years past. Let's see if we can get a good comparison for these. So you lose a little bit of riser overall length, and the limbs are not as parallel. But I think more importantly, they have gone to a 5-track system with the split yoke, which we saw last year on some of their hunting bows. But they have the new Elite micro adjust splitter system here, or the split yoke system. So like other bows on the market, we are seeing this now on the Elite Target line, and I am sure we will see it later this year on their hunting line. But now you can micro adjust without having to put this bow in the press. I think for us that are making cam timing adjustments, I'm still going to do the macro adjustment on my cam timing the old-fashioned way in the bow press. I'm going to take the cable off. I'm going to twist it. Now you can make these tiny, small adjustments with this micro split yoke system. So excited about that. They still have the LTR, so you can still make roller guard adjustments to add pressure to your cams and your limbs. Still have the set technology in the limb pocket. That has not gone away. That has pretty much been a staple on Elite bows the last couple of years. And with this limb pocket this year on their target bow, they now have the Picatinny mount system. So you can use the rack feature that these Elites have. So you can use the bipod legs, just like this one, where I can get this bow to stand up by itself. And you're not relying on clamping anything on your limbs. You can clamp it right to the limb pocket and shoot with it on there like this. This bow is going to come in draw weights and peak draw weights of 40, 50, 65, 40, 50, 60, 65, and 70. So you can fine tune your peak draw weight with the limbs that you get with it. This one right here is 60-pound max draw weight, so we're not going to be able to do a speed test because we don't have the 70-pound limbs, but we are going to shoot it. We are going to see how it feels draw cycle wise. This has the smooth mods on with the adjustable module on it, so it has up to 90% let off, which this one is currently set at is 90%, but you can get the performance mods and you can get the 75% mods for these bows, for these cams. So that will be really good. If I were to shoot this personally, probably be shooting a 75% mods like I have on this Verdict. Just as a couple comparisons to this Verdict, because they have shrunk the riser on this a little bit and the limbs have become more swept. I don't know if that is what this does, but I've noticed it and I'm going to point it out to you, is that when you put these two on the table, overall, from the very front of the limb pocket to the string, this bow, the Verdict, or the VICTRA over the Verdict, is probably about 3/4 of an inch shorter and more narrow. What that is going to do, not really sure. Probably took some reflex out of the riser, and the less reflex you have in your riser, they tend to point and shoot better. Same 7-inch brace height, same roughly 37-inch axle to axle. The VICTRA is 37.5. It's going to come in draw lengths from 25.5 inches to 31. So if you're someone above a 31, not sure if this is going to be the bow for you. You might have to get a little fancy and twist some things up and run a little longer loop, but you can do it. And 2 new color options from Elite this year. This is one of them. This is Black Cherry. This looks sports car red. It looks absolutely phenomenal in person. The video is not going to be able to do it justice, and especially when you take this bow outside, it just has this really deep gloss finish to it with a little bit of flake in there. It looks more like an automotive paint finish than it does a bow finish. So Elite has really, jazzed up the color profile this year. Some really nice colors. The other new color for them is going to be raspberry. It's a little bit lighter than this. I have not seen it in person. I hear it's a little bit more pink, but it does look stunning. All right, here we go. I have shot this bow a couple of times, so I kind of know what it feels like. Draw cycle on this is really, really smooth. Being 60 pounds and 90% let off, that's kind of, for a target bow, it stacks up nice. It's a little stiff. There's no real hard lumpy spots in it. There's no real stiff and then gets light and then gets stiff. Doesn't dump hard into the valley. So if you're someone who wants to shoot a blade rest, it's not going to do the thing where it wants to bounce your arrow off the rest, which is issues that I've had in the past. But draw this, just stacks up nice and smooth. Even at 90%, it just kind of falls in. And then letting down. It's a little, right here gets light and wants to pull it. But again, 90% let off. Just holding the bow, looking straight at the string. That string is right in the cable or in the cam track. So definitely points straight. The grip has stayed the same. So if you're someone like me who personally likes the Elite grips, nothing has changed there. Feels exactly the same as it did before. So, still has the little wood side plates. The curvature and everything about the grip is exactly the same. So, very nice. Let's do a little experiment here. I'm going to take the camera. I'm going to point it down here. I'm going to be aiming literally right at the camera. I'm gonna put a 30-inch bar, 33-inch bar right on the front here. The one thing I've noticed with this bow is that when I'm aiming it, in the past, elites for me have always wanted to point a little bit to the right with a little bit of a riser torque to it. So I want to go back to back against the VICTRA, against the Verdict from last year or last cycle's target bow, and see which one points a little bit more to the right. It might just be my natural grip pressure, but I do believe that with the split yoke system here, where you're pulling equally on both sides of the axle, that it is going to take a little bit of that torque out of the bow naturally, because it is pulling straight down on the cam instead of one side. Huge fan of these. Verdict from last year, or my bow from last year. I'm gonna stand here and I'm gonna point that stabilizer right here at you guys on camera. We're gonna see. It's kind of pointed to the right a little bit, no hand grip. Let's see how this VICTRA points. Again, I'm gonna point the stabilizer right at you guys on camera. I feel like that stabilizer is way straighter. Again, no grip pressure. God. There really is no vibration in this bow. Comparing that to my Verdict right now would be not apples to apples, because I don't run a string stop in my target bow. But overall, very, very excited about this. I do believe you're going to see this bow on a lot of podiums this year. This thing shoots and points extremely well. I do believe it is one of the best bows, especially the best target bows that Elite has ever produced. They have continued to put a lot of technology into these bows, from the set system to the 1/4-inch micro tune adjust on your draw length, to where you can actually adjust your timing on your cams without having to put this thing in the press. Picatinny mount on the front for your sight, Picatinny mount top and bottom of the limb pocket so you can run the bipod now. 2 mounting holes for your stabilizer in the front, 2 mounting holes for your stabilizers in the back. So they do give you a ton of options on where you want to run your equipment on this bow. And let us know if you think this is one of the best bows on the market this year for target archery. Until next time, guys, we'll see you on the next video.